And we begin in East Africa, where the Dadaab refugee camp in Kenya has been home to refugees fleeing conflict and famine in Somalia for more than 20 years.
But a recent series of attacks in the area has left many refugees feeling just as vulnerable as before. Pena recently visited the camp that more than 400,000 people call home.
Inside Kenya's Dadaab refugee camp, 20-year-old Bashara speaks of violence in Somalia. She fled 5 months ago to create a better home for her child. Now she worries Dadaab is not the change she was looking for.
Because of security now, there is no difference between here and Somalia.
The camp is not just an increasingly insecure place for refugees to live. Just 90 kilometers from the Somalia border, militants and criminals have also made Dadaab home. Camp resident Abla Ibrahim says this makes a bad situation worse.
There are people who come with guns at night. They come and steal our food.
Both Bashara and Abla live in a section of the camp where 2 Spanish aid workers were kidnapped in October of last year. They worked for Doctors Without Borders and they're still missing. Vittorio Pizzi is a field coordinator for the organization and has been working under the new security conditions for the past 5 months.
The security situation poses us in a dilemma, of course, of having the necessity to adapt our way of working on one side without exposing our team to unnecessary risk, but on the other side to keep our services going.
They have continued to work in the hospital and other parts of the camp, but in this section, they've left, and so have some of the refugees, including Amina Abdi Ali.
Some people have left the insecurity here. They've gone back to Somalia.
The camp leader, Ali Noor Hassan, has also become frustrated with the lack of police protection in his section.
This camp is large, and we only have 1 police post here, and it's very far from here. We just wish for them to bring law and order.
Despite the threats Kenya faces from elements inside Dadaab, Kenya's police spokesperson Eric Koraith says police have already exhausted their resources on the camp. It is the most policed region in rural Kenya.
The concentration of policemen in those camps is too high, for us abnormally high. But because of the complexity of the societies which end up, the kinds of people who end up in the camps, then certainly it requires much closer police surveillance.
There are currently 300 police officers operating in the camp of nearly 500,000 refugees. They're fighting both criminals and elements of the terrorist group Al-Shabaab who have infiltrated the camp. And for the refugees living here, unless they return home to Somalia, they will continue to face these insecurities in the world's largest refugee camp. For VOA News in Dadaab, Kenya, I'm Alex Pena.